Hey guys, and welcome back to another Conan Exiles video. Today we are back with the Star Sign builds, the series where we build structures that represent the traits of the traditional zodiac star signs. Today we are building for Aries, the star sign active between March 21st and April 19th. Aries is a fire sign represented by the ram, and they are eager, dynamic, quick and competitive. They are very much characterised by that competition, so today we're building a Jousting Arena with a focus on that aspect as a place for the Aries sign to compete against others. This build is over in map square F5, just north of the Corner of Bones. The requirements are on screen now, and to be honest, it's a fairly simple affair. So without further ado, let's get started. Firstly, start off with this base plate held up by pillars. Cover the bottom of the ceilings with arena walls and leave gaps on the corners of the towers to place corner pillars. Place the pillars in this configuration here, though if you didn't want to, the build would be perfectly fine without them if you don't like the aesthetic. Next, add Turanian fence foundations to the central 3x3 on either side, and then add gates and walls to enclose a small gatehouse. This is where the Jousters will enter and exit the arena. Then lay sandy arena foundations to fill in the gaps in the floor. When the floor is filled, begin on the walls. Place arena walls around the perimeter 2 tiles high, leaving gaps at the front for 2 open archways helmed by vaulted ceilings. Next, bring the walls in by a single tile, marking out large rooms at both sides of the centre of the arena as shown in the blueprint. You should have a 1 tile wide strip around the arena floor for the standing room section, stretching from each gatehouse to either side of the VIP section at the back, or the medical bay at the front, each with access to the corner tower. You'll also want to add small doorways to either side of the gatehouse so that the visitors can move between either side of the arena by travelling through the gatehouse. Next, add stairs into each corner tower and connect them to the floor above, adding ceilings to make this area traversable. Also add arena windows as an extra layer above the ceilings, as they'll serve as backing for the seats later on. Next, add a buffer column on either side of the gatehouse, and then use Turanian vaulted ceilings to add an overhang to the floor above, adding more walking space and sun cover for the standing section below. Fence in the standing sections when the ceilings are in place, and add gates to each gatehouse. From here, add Turanian quarter pillars to the vaulted ceilings. You don't have to do this, but I think it looks much better if you do. It is quite fiddly in places, you will have to remove and replace some walls, but the final result is worth it and makes more visual sense than just leaving them to dangle. Fence in the outer segment of the VIP box and then add a doorway and vaulted ceilings on the exterior to match the standing sections. Above the medical bay, bring the walls up 2 tiles high to create a rectangular box. From there, add arena foundation stairs within the window walls we built earlier to create seating. I also used Turanian vaulted and regular ceilings to create an overhanging sun cover above the medical bay, restoring the original size of the room below and setting us up for the roof later on. For now I added a pyramid roof, but ignore that, it will not be the final design. Inside the VIP box, add stairs on either side to access the top level. Build the first floor up with Turanian pieces, enclosing each staircase in a 3x3, a 1 tile back wall and the rest open. Create a sun cover over the rear open segment using vaulted ceilings and the same across the back tile of the raised platforms. Fence all the open edges off with Turanian fences on the sides and Turanian crenellated walls facing inward to the arena. For the roof above the VIP box, build open gable roofs on either side, finish with rooftop pieces, and then finish off the central roof with a pyramid roof topped with a cupola. I had to add a pillar at the rear to give enough support, but you can also add a ceiling just beneath the cupola to provide the support. That is a more elegant solution I opted for later in the decoration phase. On each corner tower staircase, build the walls and pillars up 3 tiles high from the first floor seating level. Inside the towers, add vaulted ceilings on the second tile, and then a 1x1 wall segment up to the third tile. Cover the top with ceilings and add stairs atop the entranceways at the front of the arena. Top the corner towers with crenellated Turanian walls and the pyramid roof atop the VIP box. Top off the corner towers with pyramid roofs, finished with a cupola holding Turanian crenellated walls and a Turanian rooftop dome. Next, add support buttresses around the build. This will bring us to the blueprint I showed you earlier, and you'll build each buttress 2 foundations high and taper it into the build with arena stairs. I also added ceilings at the front of the build between the entranceways, onto which I placed Turanian stairs. We'll also later come back and improve the buttress at the front centre of the arena. Atop the gatehouse, build a central 1x1 topped by arena doors and a 3x3 ring of arena doors on the level below. Top each door layer with arena crenellated walls, and then add straight and corner roof pieces on the 3x3 and a Turanian rooftop cap to finish off the gatehouse roofs. Above the medical bay, I removed that original roof, and I then replaced the third layer of arena walls with Turanian, and then built an open gable roof with triangular accents on either side. I then flattened the top of the roof, added a 2x2 cupola on either side, added straight roofs in the gap between, and capped off the cupolas with the large Turanian dome pieces. Atop the arena windows on the top floor, add Turanian fence pieces and then Turanian crenellated walls on the interior facing side. Add Turanian ramps to each gatehouse curving around the base, allowing horses to walk in. I then also added ramps to each exterior corner of the base, which I would recommend as I think it helps quite a bit with the shaping of the build. For the jousting partition in the centre, I decided to use Khitan tables. I would have liked to have used the pieces from the Poitain Joust set, but unfortunately they're not out yet. Many of the other options were a bit too rustic for the design, so these tables do the job well enough. Finally, partway through the furnishing phase, I changed the front buttress. I removed the roof pieces, added a 1x1 door segment on either side, and then placed a Turanian foundation inside each. I placed a straight roof piece in the centre and then a Turanian rooftop cap atop each foundation, which finished off the construction process. Finally, when the shell of the build was done, it was then time to of course furnish. I've lit the build outside with torches and Zingaran campfires and covered the build with clan emblems depicted in black ram's head over a red circle to symbolise the Aries star sign. Inside the arena, all focus is placed where it should be, upon the central jousting strip. A few people have managed to file in, with the lower standing sections serving as the place for the peasantry, the upper decks for those a little more wealthy, and the VIP booth for the local rulers and their relatives. Though not ideal, the Khitan tables do not look too bad as the jousting barrier when everything is put together. Each gatehouse is really quite plain on the interior, as it's merely a room where the riders and their horses will be for a moment or two before entering the arena. There's some food and water there for the horses, alongside a passageway so that the visitors can cross between sides of the arena before the competition starts. On the front side of the arena is the medical bay, tucked between the entrance arches. This is where any injured parties would be taken to be looked after by the resident doctor, where he keeps a wealth of concoctions, bandages and tools to keep his patients alive, assuming their injuries are not too severe. Opposite the medical bay is of course the prestigious VIP box, right where the lances would clash. The ground floor has a small internal lounge with some seating, statues and lavish decoration, though this would of course be used very little given the attraction outside. Upstairs, the VIP box has a private bar at the rear serving alcohol and food. The lowered segment is for the local rulers where they have the perfect view of the jousters below, waited on by their attendants who are always ready to serve food or wine. The platforms above at either side have a slightly less ideal view of the arena below, but still far better than most others on the upper deck. And there we have it, the Aries Jousting Arena in map square F5 at the Exiled Lands. I did a Jousting Arena build a long time ago now, it was definitely not the best, but I think I've managed to redeem myself here and embody the traits of Aries quite well into this build. Thank you for watching, and of course a massive thanks to our wonderful esteemed coffee cultists for continuing to support the channel over on Patreon. Next month we've got Taurus. Good timing really, considering all the bull related decorations from the Battle Pass. I am quite excited to get around to that one. Again, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you soon.